This is an article from The Atlantic called The Antisocial Century by Derek Thompson.
I want to continue this discussion, so to get the full context, you'll need to watch the entirety of that stitched video. When people are alone, tired, and exhausted at the end of the day, and therefore grateful when their plans get canceled, there are some things talked about as to why they are guessing people are behaving this way more than in the past. But there's something that isn't brought up at all, and that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to make this video, is there's a lot of environmental factors that we're not taking into consideration that burden our bodies and therefore drain our batteries so that we don't have the energy at the end of the day to go do other things. Where in the past, perhaps people had more energy. Other generations had more energy to do things. And those environmental factors are all the pollutants, all the contaminants. When I was a kid in school, I heard all the time that we're dirtying our oceans, we're pumping various contaminants into the air, and so we're depleting our soils of various nutrients and minerals. So our planet is polluted, our environment is dirty. And yet, here we are. Here you are, here I am. We are all living on this earth in this polluted environment. There is nowhere that I can go that removes me from the generations and generations of pollution that we have put here. I can't stay in a spacecraft. I can't be on the International Space Station. I will live longer in this polluted environment than up there. And as far as I know, we don't have any bases on other planets, so I am stuck here just like the rest of us, breathing in and living and rolling in the dirty dirt and swimming in the filthy water. And I noticed that chronic illness all around the world, rare cancers and weird diseases are on the rise. And maybe that has a lot to do with contaminants. So I know there's a lot of people going around saying that you don't need to do a cleanse because your body naturally cleans. And I am going to say that, do you have time to clean your whole house? A deep cleaning of your physical house, your apartment, wherever you live. Do you have the time to deep clean it every day? No. I personally pick up after myself. I wipe the counter. I clean my dishes. I am relatively clean and somewhat organized. But if I turned this camera around, you'd see there's just a lot of stuff in here. My point is, I have to take the time. I have to set aside time to do a proper house cleaning. So the same thing happens with our body because we're constantly being inundated with environmental contaminants. And so our bodies clean up after themselves in the sense it's doing the dishes, it's wiping down the counter. If something got spilled on the floor, it wipes that up. But if you've got that closet in the back room that's just, it's like the junk drawer on steroids, you're going to need at least a 3-day weekend to go through that. You don't think your body does similar things? As above, so below. Your liver has a back closet? Girl, you're going to need a week. Hey, that's what I'm doing. 9-day liver cleanse next week. Not necessarily trying to convince you to join me on that cleanse, but I would like you to consider what effects all those contaminants might have on our energy levels and our energy at the end of the day to be able to socialize. The other thing I want to talk about with regard to those rings is you have to learn who you are, and you have to figure out what the things that you can do to connect with people that you're not really related to or ever going to be intimate with. You're going to go to the store, you're going to buy things, and if you are a typical human, aka creature of habit, you're probably going to go to a lot of specific places frequently. Like, I have a favorite Mexican store. I have a favorite whatever. I have a favorite place to go get this and place to go get that. And what happens? I see the same person at the register each and every time. So at the Mexican store, there was this lady. These are our third spaces, by the way. Can't do anything about the malls and the coffee shops not having a space for us. But I noticed after going to this Mexican store a lot, that one manager getting a little frustrated because it was a Saturday, and so the lines were crazy busy. And I just saw her getting frustrated, and when she was ringing me up, I commented something, and I can't remember what exactly I said because this was many months ago. But it was just a comment about how it never ends. It just never ends. And I was just teasing a little bit. I can't remember exactly what I said. I know I was teasing because that's what I do. I am a tease. And she laughed. She laughed because I pointed out something so obvious. And I had the courage to say it to her. I've noticed since then that she's been a little friendlier with me. It wasn't that she wasn't friendly before. She was just very formal, but she's just a little bit more relaxed. She smiles a little bit more around me. It's less of a automaton, like less of that retail smile and more of a, hey, I recognize you. You're the one who comes in here and buys 4 to 18 bunches of celery every single time. Yeah, you. It's a Mexican store. Before, she spoke to me in Spanish. Now, she speaks to me in English. Sure, it's because I said something in English. But she remembers me. So, that's the story. All you need to do to connect to people in that middle space, that middle ring, at least in my experience, all you need to do is watch. Watch what's happening. And when you get up to the person, have some courage. Have some courage to say something. And don't come up with something. Don't try. Just that I just made an observation. I literally just told the woman what I saw. And because I know who I am, and I am a charming tease, my observation came out charming and teasing. It was absolutely me. It was absolutely authentic. That's all that people care about. Karate chop. Chop up all the crap that's not you. Be you. And let it show. But first, you have to know who and what you are. And what do you want? You want alone time? Cool. So make social interactions count. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the anti-social generation? Cheers.